All right. Good evening and welcome everyone to the Board of Education meeting with our student leaders. I'm excited for all of you guys to be here tonight. And I'm looking forward to the fruitful conversations we're going to have tonight about the various different topics that we've laid out. I'll explain the process for the evening later on, but for now, I'm going to pass it off to our board president, Mrs. Brenda Wolf.
Good evening. It's such an honor to be here with our students tonight. My name is Brenda Wolf, and I'm the president of the Board of Education. Right now, I'm going to ask my fellow board members to introduce themselves, starting with our vice president, Ms. Silvestri.
Good evening, everyone. I'm very excited to be here tonight. I'm Carla Silvestre, and I'm the vice president of the board.
Ms. O'Neill.
Good evening. I'm Pat O'Neill, member of the board representing District 3, which encompasses BCC, Walter Johnson, Whitman, and Churchill. And this is my favorite stakeholder meeting of the year. I'm sorry that we can't be in person to share cookies and punch this year, but we look forward to a fruitful discussion.
Dr. Daka.
Judy Daka, and I have District 1, which is Gaithersburg and Pup County, and I'm glad to be here with the students, and I spent most of my life working with students as a teacher and as an administrator. So thank you so much for signing on tonight and for Nick to put this together.
Ms. Evans.
Good evening. So see you all virtually. I'm glad you had a chance to enjoy the snow. Congratulations to all of you finishing up your college applications. I represent District 4, which are all the schools in the Down County Consortium. Looking forward to the conversation later on. Thank you.
Ms. Harris.
Hi, everyone. Lynn Harris, newest member of the board. Very happy to be here. So interested to hear student perspective on all of the issues or the issues that we've chosen to focus on this evening, and always here and welcoming your perspective on all of the work that we're doing.
And Ms. Vandrowski couldn't be here this evening. And of course, you know your student member, Mr. Asante. So, you know, the success and safety of our students is our highest priority. Each and every one of you matters to us. And tonight, I think you're going to find out how much you matter as we try to maneuver this virtual world. We're going to get the experience that you've been getting in school since March. Virtual learning, of course, is new to all of us. We can't wait to return to the buildings, and I know you all can't either, but safety has to be our highest priority. I look forward to the conversation this evening, so welcome. Nick?
Thank you, Mrs. Wolf. And now I'm going to pass it off to our superintendent, Dr. Smith.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here with you. That I, like Ms. O'Neill, so thoroughly enjoy the events each year where we sit and talk together, typically at tables and face-to-face. Not so this year, but that's okay. We can manage this together and we can have good conversation. One of the things I have found most satisfying and most enjoyable about working in Montgomery County is the level of student engagement and student willingness to commit, to work, to think, to argue, debate, and then come together to take action. So it's a pleasure to be here, and I certainly hope you all have a good holiday season where you get some downtime and you get a chance to relax a little bit and then come back in 2021 ready to continue on with this crazy world that we're all living in right now together.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. And also thank you to all of our board members and board staff who are with us students tonight. Like you all have mentioned so far, it's not often that, you know, students get to interact directly with their policymakers. So I know this is a very exciting opportunity for a lot of us. So I'm briefly going to go over how this evening's schedule and event is going to work. For those of you who have been to this event in person in the past, you know that we rotate around from table to table, but this time we're going to be rotating from breakout room to breakout room. So students and board members are going to be placed in 4 different breakout rooms, and you guys will remain in the breakout room for the entirety of the evening. And then MCPS staff will make their way around to each different breakout room with them a topic that you'll be discussing. And when you're in those breakout rooms, you'll have student facilitators who can help guide the conversation. But please feel free to engage, ask any questions to your policymakers, to the board staff. They're all excited to answer your questions and hear from you. And also, please make sure you have your cameras on just to make the conversation feel more natural and to make the entire evening feel more personal. And each breakout session will last about 25 minutes with a quick period of time in between to for our board staff to transition from room to room. Does anyone have any questions before we begin? Awesome. So I guess we can continue on. So next slide, please. So you have just a reminder, these are your different board members. Your board members are always happy to hear from you. So please make sure you're always contacting them even after tonight with your concerns, your ideas, and your suggestions. Students are our school system's biggest constituents. So make sure that you reach out to all of them, and all of their contact information is available on the MCPS website. And these are your student facilitators. Like I said, they'll help guide the conversation. But feel free to just jump in with any questions that you have when you are in your breakout room. All right, so I guess we can begin and open up the breakout rooms.
Good evening. This is Miss Cherry. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the breakout.
All right, so welcome back from the breakout rooms. I hope you all had great conversations. I also hope this gave the MCPS staff and board members a chance to feel what it's like to be a Zoom student going through different Zoom classes. So I'm gonna take a quick moment to let you guys share out any of the interesting things that you guys discussed during your breakout room. I'm gonna start off with reopening. Does anyone have anything that stood out during their conversation about reopening that they'd like to share, whether it be a student or a staff member?
I think it was interesting to see the thoughts and implications of the upcoming vaccine in play. It was really nice to have something to look forward to know that we might have an opportunity of somewhat going back to normal. And just, it was a nice thing to look forward to. So I just wanted to share that, guys.
I'm glad to hear that, and make sure to stay up to date with what the board is doing, all the decisions being made surrounding reopening. So just keep up to date with all of the media and information that the board is pushing out. Check out my Instagram, check out all the MCPS social media. What about curriculum, technology, and virtual learning? Did anyone have anything they'd like to share from their discussions related to that topic? And also feel free to drop anything in the chat if you don't want to unmute. All right, well, I will say that from my breakout room, I appreciated a lot of students sharing their own different unique experiences and a lot of the struggles that they were facing with virtual learning. I feel like a lot of the students that I had the chance to talk to were very candid about their own personal experiences and struggles.
One of the things that our group talked about was we were talking about trying to figure out a way to spread some of the fundamental learnings that we learned in our classes across other school systems, because there are some schools that have certain classes that are necessary for the future, and there are some classes that do not have it at certain schools. And one of the things specifically we're talking about was financial courses, more like how to plan for your future, how to manage your money, how to file taxes, and just certain stuff like that. We noticed that some of the schools do not offer those classes, and but those that certain class is kind of specific, is helpful for the future, as everyone has to file their taxes at least one time in their life. So we were talking about trying to find a way to make sure that classes like that, where it helps people in the future, is more implemented across the school system.
Sounds good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And everything that you guys have said today is being taken into consideration by MCPS, our Board of Education, and our board staff. What about a student experience and wellness? Did anyone want to share anything that they had during their discussion with this topic?
I can go. I obviously learned a lot. I was actually glad to see that lots of MCPS staff members and board members are really acknowledging like the toll that virtual school and distance learning can take on students' mental health, and that they're really trying to prioritize like outreach and speaking to students, but also acknowledging that sometimes like student-run programs and clubs and teams can really like help because they understand the viewpoint that fellow students are coming through, and really balancing the adults and professionals perspective with what students want to see within their own school communities. So I really enjoyed that conversation and thought it was a nice way to start off the night.
Something that our group discussed was that we actually extensively discussed was how to contact and the role of school psychologists in our schools. And a lot of people in our breakout room actually didn't even know they had a school psychologist that they could contact if they needed mental health or emotional well-being support. So it was really nice to be able to get connected with those kind of resources and find out that there's someone that you can contact if you do need help. Oh, and we also talked about counselors as well too, the different challenges and personal issues with counselors.
My group talked a little bit about the student suicide awareness and prevention lessons that we have during between winter and fall and winter, and the importance of them and ACT and how it can really make a difference in yours or your friends' lives.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear all of that, and thank you guys for sharing. Going to our final topic, the anti-racism audit and the SRO program. Does anyone want to share anything that they discussed in their breakout room related
I'd
to
love
those
to
topics?
share. Oh, did I cut someone off? All right. Yeah, so my group had a really, I think, important discussion about the importance of student engagement within the anti-racism audit, not just providing opportunities for students to provide their input on the process, but also specifically seeking out students who will be affected by these policies and affected by the changes that are to hopefully come out of the audit. So we had a really important discussion about the importance of student engagement in MCPS policy overall, but especially with the anti-racism audit, seeing that it came from student activism and initiatives originally.
Wonderful. And I do know I am going to be sending out more information later about ways in which students can get involved in the anti-racism audit. So be on the lookout for that. But I'm glad you guys all had great conversations. Hopefully this, I know oftentimes it can feel like our Board of Education and central office is, they're very far off, but hopefully this helped build that connection and made you realize that they're regular human beings that you can have conversations with and talk to about your problems and your struggles as students, and all of them care deeply about the problems you face as students, and they're always open to having conversations. I'm going to pass it off to Mrs. Wolf to give any closing remarks. I believe you're on mute.
I am so impressed by the students that shared with us tonight. It's been an honor and a privilege to listen to their incredible wisdom. We want to thank you for taking the time to meet with us, for working hard to make our schools better, and for the respect that you showed and exemplified tonight. On behalf of the rest of my colleagues, we look forward to a continued collaboration so that we can continue to provide the best education possible to all MCPS students. Thank you, and I look forward to our continued working together.
Awesome, thank you. And Dr. Smith?
Well, I think what an engaging, enjoyable, thought-provoking evening. I was very tired when I sat down at 6 o'clock and signed on, and now I feel invigorated and excited. And the highest compliment I can pay the students who are here tonight is, you make me want to quit my job right now and go teach high school English so I could spend every day with you. It was just that enjoyable, thought-provoking. You're just terrific. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And, you know, to the students, I know it's not often that our board members and board staff get the chance to directly interact with us like this. So I'm sure they all really enjoyed the experience. Miss Cherry just sent out an email to all of you guys with the SSL form, and I believe it's open until 9 a.m. It's due by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. So make sure you fill that out. I'm talking about the experience that you had tonight. And I believe that's all for this evening. Thank you guys all so much for joining in on a Thursday night, the night before interims are due, and you're all catching up on your schoolwork. So thank you guys so much for being here and for having these conversations. And thank you to the MCPS staff and board members who came here today to engage with our students. We all really appreciate it. And have a good evening.
All right, happy
Thank
holidays.
you, everyone.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.